Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Let us pray to the God of Likes because it's Thanksgiving 2024, and I'm very grateful at how much my life has turned around these last this last month, but especially these last couple of weeks. Um, let's talk about how this year has turned out. I began the year with a little bit of a throng. I had landed a couple of dream jobs. I teach at this is Central Arizona College. I was already teaching at the Maricopa colleges, and I got a number of assignments that I was shooting for at both of these colleges. And I also that's the beginning of this year was when I also ramped up my art career. I began working with zinc and pewter on top of the bismuth that I was already working with, and I I cleared four figures at an art show for the first time in my life, and so that was good. Uh, I didn't have as much luck with my social life though. I would see something on Meetup.com. I would drive 20 miles each way, and then I would have the worst of luck. I was going to one board game meetup where there was a girl who actually talked to me, and I saw her twice there. And then the third time, I was thinking about making the move on her, and then I never saw her again. I don't think it was anything of my doing. She probably had a change in work life or something. Maybe the younger generation is always on the move, right? I don't think it was anything of my doing. I didn't get her name or any information, and that was only one situation that played out like that this year. Though my entire social life has been riddled by situations just like that one. Even to this day, I'll get to it in a second. I I went to another meetup where I was trying to make a move on this girl, and then this other guy who was very loud and obnoxious just interrupts just as I'm about to get some traction there. And I didn't know how to react to it, and I let it fester in my mind for a whole week. The following week, I went there. The girl wasn't there, he was, and I got into a shout out with him, and both of us got banned from that meetup. Long story short, well, the shout out actually didn't begin as a shout out. What had happened was I was trying to talk to him about some other things, and he made some cruel remarks about my food allergies, and that's when I lost it. And we got into a verbal altercation. And there were a few other events like that this year. Then I started my position or my class here at the Calculus 2, and I got to know a colleague of mine, a lot older than me, but she has some connections with a friend of hers, and the friend of hers has two adult children. And she had a party one time at her home. This was 3 months ago now. But ever since that party, I think my colleague has kind of backtracked in wanting to introduce me to her friends. I don't know why. I I was hoping to meet up with the colleague today and try to get some honest feedback. It's the end of the semester. I know my colleague's going to be relaxed, and I'm thinking about telling her, about my recent good fortunes and hopefully get her in the mood to give constructive feedback, right? Because if I tell my colleague about my good fortunes, she's going to think, I'm in a good mood. She can give me some of this unpleasant medicine, if you will, right? I don't know if that's the case. What had happened was my colleague had planned this Christmas party, and all of a sudden, last minute, something came up. When she said something came up, because she sent me an email, she didn't even have the wherewithal to say it in person. So she sent me an email. My first reaction was something happened that I, my first reaction was I wasn't invited for some reason. She told me the party was canceled, but I didn't want to take it at face value. I thought maybe one of her friends had commented something. But then I saw the friend on Facebook, and we had a pleasant conversation today. So that doesn't sound like the case anymore. So what had happened was I was hoping to catch up with my colleague today, and I had made some. I kind of looked up some background of my colleague, and I made some art related to her religion, and I was going to give it to her. And I also did some googling about her friend and what kind of background. I learned her friend is a Donald Trump supporter, so I made some Donald Trump coins. Uh, and I was going to share that with, but I didn't see the colleague today. That's my fortune, right? Every time I have this elaborate plan to fix things up or to make things work, something goes by unplanned, right? That's been my fortune all year round. And so about 2 months ago, I had just about given up when I looked at, wait a minute, I'm doing so well financially and with my art projects and with my career, but not so much socially. Why don't I offer a financial reward for somebody who can set me up on a date, right? To kind of even the score a little bit, right? Because my finances have been pretty, part of the reason I've been doing so well with my career here is that I have financial backing. I have walkaway power, right? With my social life, I often don't have it. So I decided I needed to even the score. So I offered a 1 kilogram silver reward for anybody who gets something out any date at all, right? And as long as it's a legitimate date, right? They don't just hire somebody, right? And I offered the reward, and a friend of mine from church set up this. He has some connections. He has a meetup group and all that, and he introduced me and all that to the looks like he has at least 1,000 or so members. And was the date an ideal one? No, but it got me out of the rut. And for a couple of days, I actually felt productive. And I'm going to see her again tonight. And at least I'm not drowning in sorrows and disappointments and wasting my time and misconnections and roller coaster rides of. I don't think my colleague canceled the party to cause me drama, but I was hoping to catch my colleague today to clarify things, make sure if there's anything wrong that I hear the feedback and make amends to it. I don't think that was the case, but earlier today I was kind of concerned that was the case, and but it got me on track again, and I was able to focus again on my art projects, and what was really funny is my friend almost didn't want to take the reward. Funny thing is, he didn't he didn't understand what a kilogram of silver even was. When I said it, he had to Google on his phone how much it was worth, and he was like, "Are you serious?" He said, "You're going to get a lot of nonsense responses." And I told him, "You know what? I expected, but I have more than half a brain cell, right?" And it turns out I did get a lot of nonsense responses. I didn't respond to them, obviously, but I have more than half a brain cell, and my friend's legitimate, and that's good. But he didn't want to take the silver bar, and I felt it would be bad karma for me to offer it, and then even if my friend didn't want it, to then keep the silver bar, I would never feel good about it. And so I gave it to him. He didn't want to take it, and so I had to slide it in. What I did was at the date, he and his wife came along with another couple, and the two of us. And I told him, I actually have even more. His wife is Japanese. I actually have even more Buddha art. And I hid the silver bar at the bottom. It was a Christmas bag. I hid it at the bottom. I left a note in there explaining the karma. There's a second reason I needed to give him the silver bar. This one he probably won't appreciate as much. I need to feel like I have skin in the game so that I don't mess up the date. Too many times I get too uh, uh, comfortable complacent with where I am, right? So, for example, I used to travel to Amsterdam to compete in the Computer Olympiad. Now, it costs thousands of dollars to travel there. You got to take a lot of vacation time, and it's a huge investment in your time and money and effort and energy. And by the time I get there, I'm not going to be making a whole lot of mistakes in terms of how I network with people, in terms of how I compete in the games, right? Compare that to I go to some other events here in the Phoenix area, right? And, oh my God, I say the wrong thing half the time, right? I don't sleep right, I don't dress right, and all that. And I wanted to feel like I had some skin in the game, and plus, it's just good karma anyway. And please continue to pray for me. I really I should have asked for more prayers with the situation with the colleague. But continue to pray for me by leaving dislikes in this video. It's been a very turbulent year, but at least the last couple of weeks I've been figuring stuff out. I so much would have loved to fix the situation today with the party being canceled and all that. I really thought I had the good solution, but again, that's the kind of luck I have. This is not an uncommon circumstance. Just like the time I had two really beautiful nights with that girl, and then I never saw her again. Had I known that second time that was her last time coming, right, that could have played out differently, right? But perhaps she didn't know either, right? After all, our lives are so chaotic these days. We had a good conversation both of those times, right? Same with the girl I was trying to interact with when this guy just interrupts. He wasn't even trying to chase her or anything. He just wasn't very conscious of what's going on around him, and really upsetting. And just like how he would comment nastily about dietary restrictions, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.